Today you'll hear about real people whose bodies basically went off script. No, they're not comic book superheroes. These stories actually happened and science had to just deal with it. A woman who can't feel pain. Imagine burning your hand, cutting yourself, even breaking a leg, and feeling absolutely nothing. Sounds like a superpower, right? For Jo Cameron from Scotland, that's just Tuesday. Scientists discovered she has a rare genetic mutation. One gene basically forgot how to turn on the body's panic, it hurts, alarm, and the other keeps her permanently calm and unbothered. Almost no anxiety, no stress. As a bonus, her wounds heal twice as fast as everyone else's. Once, she had a major surgery and didn't even ask for painkillers. She literally said, "Oh wait, you've started already?" But every superpower has a downside. She might not notice an injury or realize something is infected. So Jo lives carefully, because pain, as annoying as it is actually pretty useful. People who function on 4 hours of sleep. We all know someone who proudly says, 4 hours is enough for me. I wake up fresh as a daisy. Usually, they're lying. But there are people who actually thrive on just 4 to 5 hours a night. And no, they're not slowly dying inside. They're called short sleepers. It's all in the genes. Scientists found specific mutations in DEC2 and ADRB1 that literally make their bodies recover faster while sleeping. Their brain just needs less time to reboot. These people go to bed at 2 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m., and somehow don't look or act like zombies. Meanwhile, the rest of us sleep a solid 8 hours and still yawn at 10 a.m. But here's the catch. If you try to live like that without the mutation, you'll end up with dark circles, caffeine dependency, and an unexplainable hatred toward all living things. So don't confuse a genetic gift with insomnia. The amphibian people, the Bajau. There's a tribe in the Philippines and Indonesia that literally lives on the water. They're called the Bajau, sea nomads, and they can dive up to 70 meters without any scuba gear and hold their breath for 10 to 13 minutes. How? Simple. They've got bigger spleens. Scientists compared the Bajau to nearby populations and found that their spleens are about 50 larger than average. And the spleen works like a storage unit for backup blood. When a person dives, it squeezes extra red blood cells into the bloodstream, letting the body stay oxygenated for much longer. Basically, they come with a built-in biological air tank. Meanwhile, the rest of us barely hold our breath for a minute before our brains scream, "We're dying!" And no, this isn't just good training. It's evolution. Their genes have been adapting to underwater life for hundreds of years. People who are basically immune to HIV. This is probably nature's biggest victory over a virus. Some people simply can't get infected with HIV because they're missing the door the virus normally uses to break into cells. Here's how it usually works. HIV latches onto a protein called CCR5 on immune cells. But in these lucky humans, a mutation locks that door shut. The virus knocks, kicks, tries to break in, and the body just goes, "Nope, wrong address." They're basically a house with no doors. A thief can knock all he wants, but he's not getting inside. This mutation even helped scientists develop a new way to treat AIDS. Some patients were actually cured after receiving bone marrow from people with this mutation. Now that's what you call a premium nature upgrade. People who remember everything. This is one of those things that even scientists find a little unsettling. There are people who can recall every single day of their lives, what they had for breakfast 14 years ago, what the weather was on March 9th, 2003, all of it in perfect detail. The condition is called hyperthymesia, or HSAM, highly superior autobiographical memory. They don't study, they don't practice. Their brain just records everything automatically, like a dash cam. Scientists once asked a woman, "What happened on October 12th, 1987? She calmly replied, "Monday. I walked to school in the rain." The news talked about a fire in Los Angeles. They checked. She was right. But of course, there's a downside. These people can't forget the bad stuff. Breakups, insults, loss. Everything stays as vivid as if it happened yesterday. So yeah, sometimes the ability to forget things is a blessing too. People with almost unbreakable bones. Imagine a family where no one has ever broken a bone. Not as kids, not as adults. One man even got into a serious car accident and doctors were stunned. Not a single fracture. Scientists dug into it and found a mutation in the LRP5 gene, the gene that controls bone density. In most people, this gene keeps a balance. Strong bones, but not concrete. But in people with the LRP5 mutation, the bones are several times denser than normal. So dense that researchers literally call them almost unbreakable. And this isn't a superhero myth. In 2002, scientists described a real family in Connecticut where multiple generations had extremely dense bones and not one fracture in their entire lifetimes. More cases were discovered later, and in all of them, the pattern was the same. Their bones barely take damage, even under strong impact. But of course, there's a but. With bones this dense, surgery becomes a nightmare. It's hard to cut or drill into the bone, and there's a risk that such extreme density can put extra strain on the joints as people age. Which of these abilities would you pick for yourself? The no pain mode, the built-in air tank, or maybe the unbreakable bones? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious which one won you over. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and share it. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.